A shuffled deck of cards was handed to a man putting on the memory demonstration. He quickly looked through the entire deck for what seemed to be less than 30 seconds, and then handed the deck back to the other person. He thought for a minute, and then proceeded to name each card in the deck in the correct order. Now, maybe you've seen a similar memory demonstration, and you probably have the same reaction as I do. I have trouble remembering someone's name when I meet someone new. And sometimes I can't remember the details of what my boss instructed me to do at work. Our ability to remember can be a problem for many of us with our listening. Learning how to remember better is the solution. What we're learning in these videos is that to listen effectively, we need to focus on actively hearing. To listen effectively, we need to focus on creating shared meaning to reach real understanding of what we hear. And now we need to discuss a third behavior relating to being an effective listener. We need to understand the process of remembering and how to use these strategies of remembering to make our listening more effective. All of these listening behaviors are part of the Courrier listening model. Have you ever thought about dividing remembering up into 3 separate processes of immediate, short-term, and long-term memory? This separation can help us to understand what is or is not going on in our efforts to remember. Immediate memory, the first remembering process, is the receptacle of all of our input. This is all of the input you are receiving every second from all of your senses. Just like in hearing, we have to select the information we want to remember. It's an active choice. What can affect these choices are filters that we place in the way of the process, consciously or unconsciously. One filter might be a previous experience that says this person doesn't really have anything important to say. Another bias filter is a filter that halfway screens out people we don't have respect for. Or a filter that says, I'm doing something I think is more important, so I'm going to pretend to listen. But my filter stops the memory process in its tracks. If we can get past our listening filters, we can find that the longer we let the information percolate in our immediate memory, the more likely it will be to enter our short-term memory. Short-term memory, the second remembering process, is the place and time where you make the choice to try to apply particular strategies to push it into your long-term memory. You might recite the information several times or chunk the larger information into smaller chunks that you can remember better, or you might look for logical patterns that you can see. Now you can push this processed information into your long-term memory. Long-term memory, the third process of remembering, operates differently. This is the data bank, warehouse, or place where you remember things because of some specific organized method you used. When my daughter was 5 or 6, we asked her one day about some random thing that had happened in the past. She paused and thought for a minute and replied, "That memory is in a picture frame sitting on the dresser in the attic." Our first thought was that she was crazy, but she explained that she kept all of her memories in a house and that one was in the attic on the dresser. She referred to this house for several years, and the memories were always in the same place. What she was doing was using a visual picture of a place and inserting memories into the picture. This is just using an organized method of long-term remembering. You might put your thoughts into categories or associate them together in some manner. I've even remembered phone numbers by picturing an old-fashioned Rolodex. So what have we said about the process of remembering and how it impacts effective listening? You might be hearing and even understanding the meanings of your partner, friend, or coworker. This is the immediate part of hearing. We have to get into the short-term memory by getting past the filters of past experiences, bias, or lack of respect that stops our listening at the immediate level. We've also said that short-term memory is just that, short-term, unless we work to push it into our long-term memory where we organize it into categories, patterns, or visual memories. Then we can remember what we have heard. Put simply, remembering is yet another conscious choice we need to make along the pathway to becoming effective listeners. And the choice is yours. See you in the next video.